Happy New Year to everyone, and congratulations for making it to 2026. We made it through an amazing year in 2025. Thank you to all our listeners on the Governance Discuss podcast for staying with us throughout 2025 and look forward to an amazing 2026. Welcome to the Governance Discuss podcast. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, you're welcome. My name is Veronica Panaitide, and I'm the host of the podcast. On the Governance Discuss podcast, what we try to do is to have conversation on everything governance. We try to interrogate issues of public policy, leadership, politics, and in 2026, as we go into the election year, I mean, the election year is 2027, but 2026, we're going to see a lot of interesting things happening, and I can't wait for us to break down every conversation and discussion as well. But on today's episode, we will be speaking about the Rising Progressive Leadership Fellowship. So the APC Youth Wing has come up with this amazing fellowship where they're going to be training young people on leadership, politics. I think that I found it like really interesting because it's coming from number one, a political party, and most interestingly, it's coming from their youth wing. So, as most times, you really don't see political parties taking out time to train young leaders. And as young leaders, one of the challenges that we've been facing is we we don't have spaces in governance, right? Little spaces in governance, right? But in order for us to be able to get there and perform properly, we need to be well trained, well equipped. So once we get there, we're able to deliver on our mandate and lead with excellence. So I see it as a really amazing opportunity for young people to not only get this training on leadership, learn about politics, especially when it's going to come from a political party. I feel that it's going to be fully packed and engaged. So you don't want to miss it. You want to apply. So I'm gonna kind of break down what this opportunity is about. So the applications are currently open. It's a flagship initiative of the Progressive School of Politics, Leadership, and Statecraft, and it is championed by the APC National Youth Wing. It's a premier fellowship, so this will be their first cohort, their inaugural cohort, and it's designed to equip young Nigerians with knowledge, skills, and values needed to become effective leaders in politics, governance, and public policy. Right? You would engage with past leaders, both present and past. That kind of mentorship is really needed because it gives young people the opportunity to question, to learn from people who are already there, have been there, have faced challenges. You would learn like what they did to get there. And it removes that, you know, that gap of not knowing how to do it or doing it by yourself and taking the longer route when you can just learn from the successes and failures of other past leaders. So I really think that that's amazing and I really like that part. So it has a mandatory 1 week in-person residential program in Abuja. So the program is going to be in Abuja and they're going to like it's a residential program, so they're going to house you, and after that there's kind of going to be like online engagements about after that as well. I just wanted to read directly from the application so I don't miss out anything. The Rising Progressive Leadership Fellowship, the flagship initiative of the Progressive School of Politics, Leadership, and Statecraft, the training arm of the APC National Youth Wing. Very interesting. Um, so it's a 1 year, they have a 1 week intensive in person residential opportunity in Abuja, and you should register now. So I would also kind of talk about what is required in the registration process, just kind of to get you up to date, like if you want to apply. I think that one thing I would advise is that you start your applications early, because once you start your applications early, you're able to craft out your application in a way that is better. You're able to write down your ideas, keep it maybe a day, give it to somebody to also read for you and give feedback from it. So that will help you to have like a better application out as opposed to writing your application on the deadline. So let's kind of read like what the requirements are. So you put in your details, your name, your state of origin, your state of residence, which of course is it's needed. And the next one, you kind of give them your academic achievement, professional and leadership experience as well. So you state your academic qualification, your area of expertise, your current role, what you're doing now, and you're given this opportunity to highlight what skills you possess. And some of the skills itemize community organizing, technology, political strategy, media strategy, advocacy, communication, research, project management, policy analysis, data analysis as well. And then you click that, you'll ask the question of, have you held any political position in any club or association? I mean, you can pick yes or no. um let's come down to the essay part, and I think that this is where you should sit down and really try to expatiate and address it. I mean, one thing is that so this question says, briefly describe your volunteering or leadership experience in advocacy, community service, governance, policy, or politics. That's the first question, essay question that I'm seeing here, and it has to be 150 words max. So in your application, it will be good for you to stay within the time frame that has been given to you, which is 150 words. Something I try to do when I'm writing applications is try to understand the question and break it down so that I address everything that is asked. So they said, briefly describe your volunteer experience or leadership experience. So you could speak on one or the other. So you can speak about your volunteering experience, or you can speak about your leadership experience in advocacy, community service. So if you've done any advocacy work, you can itemize that. If you've done any community service work, it would be good. You can pick that already, or you can do governance, policy, or politics. So it's a wide range of trying to see things that you've worked in, and to get your expertise on it. One advice I would give is, if you have like numbers of impact, it'd be good to say, okay, I worked on this project, and the aim of the project was to do this, and that, and this was the impact that we have. We're able to impact 200 people or 100 people, and just state what your role was in doing that. The next question is, have you had any prior fellowship experience? If yes, write it down. If no, you just put no and you move forward. You have quite a number of essays. So another essay is, why are you interested in participating in this fellowship? Briefly describe what drew you to this fellowship. So it's really interesting and I think they want to hear your honest opinion, to say, why do you really want to be part of this fellowship? Why do you think it's key for you? Um, why are you interested in it? And when you go down to your thoughts and just think about why you really wanted to be part of the fellowship, it's important to say, okay, this is a novel cause, or program, and especially by the youth wing of the APC as well. And it's trying to build leaders to get more people into politics. And if you have been looking for an opportunity to get into politics, this is such an amazing opportunity for you to do so as well. So you can state what you want. They have a mentorship aspect, they have the learning aspect. They are going to learn from um, past and present leaders. So it'll be good for you to expatiate like why you're interested in the fellowship, and it's restricted to 150 words. The next essay you have is your statement of purpose, 250 words. So you need to put 250 words. Please explain your leadership leadership goals, interest in progressive ideology, leadership, and statecraft, and how the fellowship aligns with your personal and professional aspirations. So this statement of purpose is kind of like to get an idea of what are your leadership goals. As a leader, what has been your goal? It will be good to itemize it. For me, if I was applying to this program, I will state that one of my leadership goals is to get more people involved in politics and also to be involved myself in politics. And I think that as this program would create more avenues for me to equip myself with the knowledge of how to do that as well. So it is really, really, it will play a key part. And I would speak about the Governance Discourse podcast and what we do and how I've been using that to empower other young people. And if I'm able to get this experience, I think it will deepen my work. That's my personal and professional aspirations. Just to give you a tip of what to look out for. The next question is, which social, political, or governance issue are you most passionate about and how are you addressing them? So you have which social, so it may be a social issue, it may be a political issue, maybe a governance issue that you are passionate about, and how are you going about it? So you see that there are two angles in this question. So the angle is, which social, political, or governance issue are you most passionate about? That's the first arm of the question. The second arm is, how are you addressing them? So I'll use myself again as an example. Um, what issue am I passionate about? I'm passionate about getting more young people politically aware about politics, how to get involved, showcasing opportunities for people to get involved in politics. So that's an issue that I'm passionate about, and how am I doing addressing that? So I started the Governance Discourse podcast to address this issue and raise awareness, engage with young people, share my ideas on how I think that young people should be in politics, interview people who are already in the space to kind of like share their ideas and recommendations to other young people. So that in that, I mean, you still polish it and add more things, but I'm just giving you an idea of how to address your issue, your governance issue. So another issue that I'm also passionate about is, getting more women into politics, right? Getting especially young women, and the reserve seat bill is really, really a key opportunity for more women to get involved in the parliament, both at the national level and the state house of assembly level. So that's also an issue that somebody may be passionate about. Somebody may also be passionate about advocating for young boys, getting mentorship for boys, trying to address some of the societal issues that we're facing. You know, somebody may be working on youth employment, saying there are a lot of young people who are not, employed because they don't have the skills. Somebody may be passionate about digital skills. You can state how you're passionate about digital skills and how you're doing to address this issue. You may say, okay, I started training um, two people in my community to learn new digital skills, or I volunteer with an organization. So sometimes it may be the work that you're doing in your current job as a program manager, depending on what you're doing. Sometimes it may also be your volunteer experience, right? Stating, oh, I volunteer with this organization because I'm passionate about addressing certain societal issues. So there are so many things depending on where what you're doing presently at the time. It will be, good to share some of the societal. So they said it's in two parts, like I said, what issue um, are you most passionate about and how are you addressing them? They want to see that you're also really doing the work because as leaders, leaders are result driven. So as leaders, you tend to kind of want to see a problem and solve a problem as opposed to see a problem and just keep on highlighting the problem without offering any solution. The next essay is, why do you believe you should be selected to this program? Right. So you want to highlight your strengths when it comes to this. I think that I should be selected because I'm a young person, passionate about impact in my community. I have started addressing this issue by doing this, and just state some of the things that you're doing, and you have a limit of 150 words. Um, for you to be able to state there. So it'll be good for you to like um s- state why you believe you should be selected into the fellowship, right? The next one is, if selected, how would you contribute value to the program and to fellow participants, right? So this question wants to see, once you join into this program, how are you going to add value? Are you just going to join the program? Once you're accepted, you enter your training, you're just going to sit down and listen without paying any contribution. You want to see how you would get involved when you get the opportunity to be in this program. How are you going to engage with other fellows as well? What will you contribute to other fellows? Um, they want to know about that. So, if selected, what value do you bring? Because everybody wants to take people who would add value to them, right? And this is how for you to share that the value you're going to add. You're going to join the conversations, add discourse, bring your own expertise, the lessons that you've learned, even the challenges that you face. It'd be good to share it there to kind of see if other people who work in your space have also faced that challenge. I think that that's a good idea to have those conversations. And in having those deep conversations, people learn from those experiences. And if you work in an organization or you work in any space and the successes that you've had, it'd be also interesting for you to share that with other people as well so they can learn from it. So yes, I'll be dropping the link to apply for this fellowship in the um, comment section. So look out for it, or in the description. Look out for it, and you should click and you should apply. And I think that you should start applying on time because there's quite a number of essays for you to write, and it'll be good for you to write, like I said, and give someone else to read through. Um, the next one is your fellowship goals and expectation. This section helps helps us to understand your expectations of the fellowship and how you intend to apply the knowledge, skills, and network gained through the project. So the next essay is, what do you hope to gain from participating in the fellowship? And this is a 200 word max. Please explain the skills, network, or experience you expect to gain from the fellowship. So, what do you hope to gain from this fellowship? So, you're coming to this fellowship. At the end of the day, what do you want to learn? What do you want to take home away from the fellowship? One thing I think is you're going to be exposed to leadership training. So, you also want to get some new leadership skills. You're going to be exposed to mentorship from past and present leaders in the public sector in office. So that you would take away that experience. You want to learn from them. What are their successes? What are the challenges they face? What are they doing to deepen youth participation in politics? What are they doing to also encourage young people to join? It would be good to hear if they have any opportunities as well for you as a young person to give back or get involved. You know, what networks are you going to build? So with faculty that is going to be coming in and with fellows that are going to also be part of the program, it will be really a good opportunity for you to say that you also want to engage fellows, collaborate with them, build networks to see how you can, strengthen your work. Because I mean, they say if you want to, you can walk alone. Like I would get the quotes, but I think that the quote says basically, if you want to go far, you need to go with other people as well. Because if you walk alone, you would make progress, but you make more progress when you work with a lot of people. And instead of working in silos when you're doing your project, you can do it as a community, right? So you want to also explore how you can benefit from the community that you are going to be part of. And I think that that's brilliant as well. But just stating your expectations, I think that that's what they want to learn. Like kind of what you expect to gain from this program. I think that from your expectation, it helps them to also build the program in a way that it addresses those expectations that you have. The next essay is, how do you plan to apply what you have learned from this fellowship in your community, local government, state, or field of work? We're interested in how you intend to translate learning into action and impact. I think that this is really important because they're trying to see, okay, after the fellowship, what are you going to do? Are you in your place of work? What impact will this training have for you? If you in your community, are you going to do something? So it's kind of like, how are you going to pay it forward? So you've learned from this fellowship, you've been a part of it. The most important thing is, how do you cascade it to other people? What projects are you going to, say, after this, I'm going to run this project because I learned this. So let's just give an example that I went to a fellowship and I learned all these things. After this, I may just say, okay, you know what? I just want to train other people on what I learned. And how can I do that? You can say, I'm going to train 5 people on politics. Just kind of like have a course on politics. And you can even just say, I'm going to host a webinar, a live webinar. I'm going to bring other fellows into this webinar, and we're going to have that conversation of how can we get more young people involved. From that, we're going to say how we're going to, because I think that one thing is that politics is grassroots, as they say. Every time they are always disturbing young people. Young people will make noise online, but we do not go into grassroots politics. So, I mean, one takeaway is that you can say, you know what, you're going to see how you can get more people young people involved in grassroots politics. So, and I know that maybe that's something they're also going to, train you about project management, planning from beginning to end. So it will help you to be able to plan the project that you're going to run. But basically, they're just trying to say, what are you going to do different? If you learn about policy, for an example, policy analysis, are you going to be writing policy briefs? Are you going to be, engaging with governance, or with the government, public policy? Will you give policy advice? Just kind of recommendations and just getting involved. What are you going to do differently? So not just that you come, you learn from a fellowship and you don't go back and use it for to impact other people. So after that, you have your reference information. So you'll be needing, let's see, information of referee. So please provide the details and recommendations of 2 referees. So you're going to be needing 2 referees. And this is why I said it's good that you're applying early, because if you don't apply early, you wouldn't know that you have to get 2 referees. So once you're writing your application, you can really contact your 2 referees, because, okay, so your referees, you're going to provide their information, what they do, the relationship you have with them. Are they your academic supervisor? Are they your employer, mentor, colleague, or others? And you're going to upload that letter. So it may take a while to get people to your referees to write you a recommendation letter. So that's why I say you should start early. Because when you start early, it's easier for you to send in your referee and all their information, and then it's easier for them to give you the letter and you'll be able to upload that as well. Okay, I don't have a referee letter, so I can't move up to the next stage. But I think that as you've reached this stage, that gives you kind of a picture of what they want you to do. And I think that we've really addressed like all the essays that is required from this program. So I hope that you take this opportunity that it's coming and you apply. So let's kind of talk about the eligibility criteria of those who can apply for this fellowship. So if you're a young change maker between the ages of 18 to 40, you're passionate about politics, governance, and state craftsmanship, this fellowship is for you. Do ensure that you apply for this fellowship. The applications opened 31st of December 2025, but then it closes 13th of January 2026, as this year. Ensure that you apply and take advantage of this training program that is open to train young leaders. And like I said, it's so critical that it's a political party, the youth wing, who is championing this. So it's going to be fully packed with lots of activities, lots of learnings from political leaders as well in our country, who have, shaped the way Nigeria is. Another thing is you can follow their social media platforms. You just kind of like stay updated so that you can get information. You can follow the Progressive Youth Wing on X at APCNG Youth Wing. I will still drop it in the comment section as well. Or you can just follow them and keep up to date on maybe the applications when it closes. They'll give further information there as well. Um, the other criteria is have you demonstrated leadership potential and community engagement? Are you showing a commitment to applying the fellowship learnings in the real world? I think that when we talked about some of the essays, you could see the asked questions about what are you going to do with the learnings that you've learned from the fellowship. So I think that that's what they're trying to see. So ensure that you share. Like if you think that this fellowship is really good for somebody that you know who is making a difference, share with your friends, with your family, so that more people can apply and take advantage of this opportunity. So share the link so that other people can benefit from it. Like, comment. This is the first podcast of the year, so I would also like to hear from you feedback. What do you want me to feature more on the podcast? What would you like to see? And I will see how we can ensure that I bring some of your questions or your asks into reality on the podcast. So thank you very much for watching and listening. Please ensure that you like, comment, and share. Thank you very much. And do have an amazing 2026.